XCN's bottom is in. This is NC Hammer Crypto. My name's Neil, always keeping technical analysis short and sweet. I like to start with Bitcoin always because Bitcoin controls the market. Government shutting down, layoffs, all good news. Apparently, Iraq or Kazakhstan or one of those countries are now accepting Bitcoin as a cryptocurrency reserve, as well as a few other cryptocurrencies. And that's where you see this strong support at 108, like we talked about in the previous days. This is more or less what we were expecting. With these orange bars I had placed in the back may not be as accurate as expected because we had that touch and then another touch all the way down towards the previous low before getting that support. However, if we can maintain this high and close above this previous one, we can expect a further continuation to the upside. For those of you who are in XCN and are freaking out and struggling, I'm going to bring back up this photo for you because this is more or less how you feel. You feel like Rocky Balboa just screaming, Adrian, waiting and waiting for this thing to go up, and it just keeps going down. It's nothing to be worried about. We have a lot of support down in this area, and we'll most likely get a push back up towards this red downward trend line. For those of you who are bleeding out, just don't look at it. Don't look at your profile. You could be down 4,000 one day, up 6,000 the next, and you're not holding this for tiny gains. You're holding this long shot for bigger potential gains than what you have currently been in the red for. I know a lot of people entered in here right around the 16-cent mark. You should have had your exit strategy right around here, as we did not break over that down red trend line. And as we are currently underneath the 200 EMA, there is a lot of pressure pushing it downwards, but we keep testing it multiple times, weakening this 200 EMA. The black trend line going up isn't necessarily the strongest support that we've seen. We could see this green line be our next support area if we see that push down. But with Bitcoin pulling up, we can expect these other markets to start following suit, and it's just a matter of time before we start getting some higher highs. I know it's been a long waited out period and people want some new information, but there's not really much to be going off of, as it is just in consolidation. Even though it looks like it's going to drop further, we have a ridiculous amount of support pushing this way. And this form inverted scale, it is pushing it downwards, which whenever you flip it the other way, it looks weaker in my opinion, as we expect that we may break down to this green line, and that's essentially the resistance that we are going to get. Not closing beyond this previous low is what we are looking for, and we can expect that push up towards the red downward trend line. I see one of you have taken the advice of using MEXC. The reference link is in the description below, but if you have not entered into Tornado Cash as $7.50, as I keep reiterating, $10, $11, or even $13. Currently, all entries are in profit, even with the pullback all the way back down to $11. It had an immediate support on this downward trend line and the 200 EMA. This thing only has one way to go, and that is up. The CM guppy is starting to get a little thin here. We just need to see some consolidation, slow movement upwards. We have that resistance here at 1538, but beyond that, if we can close above this 1650, we can expect a range around 22 to 27 for the next push up from a $13 investment. That's pretty good ROI. And trading on MEXC, you have the lowest trading fees of any platform. Always recommended using VPN if you're going to use a MEXC. But right now, Tornado, like it's been for the past couple months, it's definitely one of my go-tos, as the all-time high is $4.59, and we are at $13. So just throw $100 at it, see what happens. It's not financial advice, but it is actually looking very, very healthy. A lot of support and upward momentum for Tornado Cash. Perpetual Protocol is another one I brought up the other day. It's starting to thin out that 200 EMA. We're getting some volume. We're bottoming out, building higher lows on the RSI, flirting with the yellow line here, trying to weasel our way up above the 200 EMA before this thing actually takes off. And I believe Perpetual Protocol All-time high was up here around $20, currently at 28 cents. So a similar thing to Tornado Cash. Tornado Cash is definitely more stable, but Perpetual Protocol for 28-cent investment potentially turning into $20 now is roughly the better area to be entering. Could we see that pullback and test this 24-cent mark? Yes, that's a possibility, but it's less likely with Bitcoin pulling upwards. BNT been bringing this one up since it was at 35 cents back here in April. We are currently at 66 cents. So still majorly in profit. We are in this downward channel or wedge, holding this support as we have placed out. The next real drop could be around 55 cents, but just like the other cryptocurrencies, if Bitcoin starts moving more upward, we're going to start seeing the other coins follow suit. It's getting above this 200 EMA slowly. We want to see that slow consolidation. Could we see a quick pump to this downward trend line? Yes, not as likely, but it is a possibility. And ultimately, when we break this downward trend line, like we've seen with Aerodrome Finance, it broke the trend line and then took off about 80%. Similar things can be happening with BNT. Flare and XRP, I'm going to bring them both up. I brought up a short for Flare. I was saying if we can get that close above 0.025 cents, that is where you are going to be looking for your entry. Even with this daily pullback, it's very healthy. It's not breaking over this 50% area on the CM Guppy. So could we retest back down here around 0.024? Yes, that's a possibility, but I imagine we're going to start getting some more support. We want to see this kind of action happening before we take off. Shows we're getting sellers, we're getting more buyers, more sellers, more buyers. And it's a lot of volatility and volume that's being pumped in to Flare Network. If you're interested in Flare, Flare is partnering with XRP, and you can stake XRP and Flare on Flare's network in the near future and earn passive income with Flare token. Not a bad bet. It is currently less than 3 cents, but it does have some very nice potential to start shooting up past 5 and even 10 cents and beyond. May not seem like major gains, but it's pretty big compared to the rest of the other markets that we have seen. And I'm going to sneak in XRP if I can get it. Where's it at? This one? XRP. Similar thing. XRP downward channel. We broke out of that channel, could not hold it, broke into the channel, but the 200 EMA is absolutely strong and pushing the lines up out of this channel yet again. 200 EMA XRP is most likely not going to touch the 2.61 again or in the near future, but we may see a little bit more consolidation before that 200 EMA just start causing pressure, which, like I had pasted out here before, in October 19th to 25th, there's a lot of important news coming. Just like I had pasted back here, the important news, we had a major drop with that important news. Could we see a drop with this news? Possibly, less likely. We are more likely going to see some consolidation and start pushing upwards before this area as ETFs are being released and more money and liquidity is flowing into XRP. I always recommend dollar cost averaging this. Same with a couple other coins, but XRP is definitely one of the bigger bags you want to be stacking. It is more reliable, more healthy, where you're not going to be freaking and panicking out like you see with XCN. It goes down like 15% and you just watch your capital start to disappear. You only lose when you sell. So if you can hold it out through the red, you deserve the green. But if you can't and you want to sell in the red, you definitely do not deserve the 100 to 200 to 1,000% increase that is about to come with XCN. Same with XRP. Keep stacking your bag. You will not regret it with this one. They have partners with everybody. They're working around the world. It's just a matter of time before word gets out. And if you miss the Bitcoin run from, $100 to 10,000, this is your opportunity for XRP. Not saying it's going to happen this year or next year, but within the next couple of years, if you stack, say, 100 XRP, you could be pretty wealthy within the next 10 years. Not saying I'm actually saying you should stack more than 100 XRP. You should be stacking quite a bit of XRP so you can start piecing out and still have a bag stacked while the currency continues to increase in profit. So that's kind of it for this video. Like and subscribe if you have not. All references are in the link in the description below for trading Tornado Cash on MEXC. And if you use those reference links, you get 10 USDT for free. So it's 10% gains automatically if you put in $100. Good luck. Have fun with it. Hopefully this was helpful, and hopefully there's more information that I can give you whenever the market starts moving in some other direction. Good luck. Have fun with it. I will see you on the next one.